Hello YouTube, welcome to Motorcycling with Carl. Welcome to this chilly 12-degree morning. My Harley Davidson Iron1200 Sportster has been stored at my brother and sister-in-law's house. It's been here for about a month now. Has not been on the trickle charger because I have my red Yamaha on that, and this was kind of a test. As you know, I installed the AntiGravity restart battery in this bike. So it's been like 0 degrees around here. Today is a little warmer day. Like I said, it's between 12 and 15 degrees, I believe. So what I want to do is come over and start this bike and see how this anti-gravity battery performs in cold weather. So everything I read says with a lithium ion battery, the first thing you do before you start your bike should be turn the power on, okay? Leave the headlight on, leave your lights on for a little bit, you know, maybe a minute. The lithium ion batteries need to be activated and kind of wake up and come to life a little bit in cold weather. So with that on, what I'm gonna do, just so you guys that own these Sportsters, you're gonna know by me turning on the run switch on this bike, the fuel pump, usually if this bike sits for a week or two, the fuel pump's loud. But if it sits and it's cold, the fuel pump is really loud. So I'm gonna ask my camera woman to come in a little closer for when I turn this switch on, and you guys are probably gonna hear this fuel pump scream, okay? Here we go. Whoop. All right, so you heard the fuel pump scream. She is ready to go. So as you know, I have my dash here. It's on the RPM gear gauge. And with the old Harley original battery, every time you start this bike, it's so weak, even in the summertime, a lot of time your gauges will reset. So what I'm gonna do now is I am gonna push this button and I am gonna see how the anti-gravity lithium ion restart battery performs. And here we go. Well, that's not too impressive. All right, maybe the battery's waking up with a little bit of draw on it. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute here. See what happens. I'll be honest with you, I was expecting this thing to fire right over, but I know it's really cold and the oil is probably really, really thick. Let's give it another shot. Like I said, the battery does have the power to start the bike, but it just needed to be woken up, I think. So with the draw on it a couple of times, the battery only got stronger. So I'm gonna restart it here and see where it's at now and how it starts the bike. Okay, so you know, I was here, I was expecting this battery to bam, just fire this bike right over, and it didn't. But I don't think it's because the battery was super weak. I think the lithium ion just had to wake up. If there's anybody out there that is more of a professional about the lithium ions and wake up time and stuff like that, please leave a comment below. I'm still happy with the battery. It started the bike. It's got plenty of power. It just took a little bit to get going with the really cold engine. Like I said, it's been about 0 here. Today it's between 12 and 15. So we'll see. I'm going to go in back. The reason this hasn't been on the trickle charger is I have my red bike plugged into the trickle charger in my brother-in-law's shed. I'm going to go out, pull that bike out, and I'm going to see if I could at least get that bike started. I don't like leaving it sitting for more than a month without running it. Usually I don't leave it more than a week. So we'll be right back. All right, so here I am out on the Yamaha. This has been on the trickle charger. We're going to try to start this thing up. I know it's been sitting for a month. It's going to be really hard to start cold weather or not because the carbs tend to drain out and it's hard to get this bike started if it sits a long time. But before I do this, as you know, on the first part of the segment when I started my Iron1200 with the lithium ion anti-gravity battery, I had a look of shock on my face when I pushed the button and it didn't start. But in between segments I did go in and did some research on the lithium ion batteries, and what that battery did and how that bike started was exactly what it was supposed to do. I learned something. Hopefully maybe you learned something. But like I said in the beginning, I turned the lights on and all of that stuff because they say a draw will start warming up the battery and wake it up. But in those extreme temperatures, putting the draw of the starter on the battery, the draw on the battery actually will warm the cells and bring them up. And that's why every time I pushed the button to start the bike, it got stronger and stronger. So that was a good performing lithium ion battery. It had plenty of charge. It didn't shut down to the restart feature. It just needed to be woken up. So now I got this bike fully choked. We'll turn it on. The battery's been on a trickle charger, so hopefully that's not an issue. Let's see how it goes here. All right, try one. Try two. Try three. I see the fuel a-flowing. It's gonna go in a minute, I could tell. I could see the fuel going through the fuel filter. That's what stinks about not having your bikes at your house. I usually start this once a week. I let it sit for a month, and this is what happens. Come on, baby, come on. Good thing the battery is strong from being on the tender. guess I gotta make it a point to get over here once a week. Had a sign of life. Now the battery's dying. Well, this is disappointing. All right, I gotta plug the battery in for a minute. Oh boy. All right, I'll see you in a minute. All right, so I've had it on the trickle charger just a little bit, not too long. I just want to try to get a little juice in there. Let's see if it'll start now. Got the choke on. Take it out. My nephews have a little go-kart track back here. I'll just drive it around there, get the fuel flowing. Alright, sorry about that, the battery died. Today has been a very unplanned day. Things didn't go quite the way I thought they would. But it turns out they went the way they should. So I did some research on the lithium ion. Takes a little bit to wake them up, but they have the power, they have the charge. Getting my Yamaha warmed up here. Gonna drive it around my nephew's little go-kart track he's got here in his yard. So he races. I think that's a little practice cart he's got. That's not his good cart. On the track, there's a little bit of ice and snow, but hope you enjoyed this little video. And for everybody else making content out there, just remember, things don't always go as planned. And until next time, this is Carl saying laugh a lot, be nice, and stay safe.